Hi friends, in this video I want to talk a little bit about a really powerful and free open source web annotation tool called Hypothes.is that you can use in your class to do social annotations. So I just want to walk you through a couple steps to get started and to kind of describe some of the things that I would do to set this up in class. So first thing that you need to do is to make sure that you have a Hypothes.is account created. So to do that, you would go to web.hypothes.is and it'll pull this web page up. And it's very easy to follow. All you need to do is to go here, just annotate the web with anyone, anywhere. Go ahead and click started. And this takes you to a very nice, easy, super user-friendly way to get yourself set up. So you would click here to create your free account. You can use whatever email address that you want to do that with, and your students can do the exact same thing. I already have one, so I'm not going to go through that process with you, but it's fairly easy and fairly straightforward. The next thing that I would recommend that you do is to use and install the Chrome extension. That's really where I think the tool is at its most powerful. So again, very, very easy, very, very simple to get that set up. All you got to do is hit here to add that Chrome extension, and then you can start annotating. So next step is to set up a private group for your classes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in. And as you can see here, it's listed as my user profile. There's all of the annotations that I have made, as well as links to the original website that I was annotating them on. And this will pop up for everybody. So to create a private group for your classes, so that whenever you are posting and whenever you're doing these social annotations, they are not only grouped together based on the students and you, the instructor, who are using these, so that all of those annotations for your class are together, but also so that they are only visible to the people in that class. There is this very handy groups function up here. And all you have to do is you go down to create a new group. You would give it a name and a description and click create group. For the purposes of this video, I have already created a sample one. Here's English 1010. And you can see that, how I've labeled these. I label them with the course, the section number, and then an easy to identify, hey, this is for the fall semester. So I'm going to click on that. And again, this is just a couple samples that I've put together for you. Now, to get your students invited to this, there is this handy invite new members link. All you got to do is click copy to the clipboard, and then you're going to want to put this in Canvas for your students. So what I've done is, and when I introduce this to students, I will always give them a page that looks something like this, getting started with Hypothes.is. And I give them kind of a little bit of background, okay, what are the social annotations? What are they doing? And I give them a link directly to that Hypothes.is main page, which is going to take them through the steps to get them set up with their Hypothes.is account. And as I say here, I also recommend that they install the Chrome plugin. It makes it easier. And then, again, same steps that I'm walking you through in order to make sure that all of the annotations are grouped together and visible only to members of the class. Click on this link to join our private group, and that's where I've copied the link to that private group, so that when students click that, it signs them up. It's that invite link that I copied from over here. So when students click on this link, it takes them to that private group, and that they're then a member of that private annotation group. Whoops. Sorry. Then again, I just give them kind of a reminder: when you're annotating, please be sure that our private group is selected so that your annotations are only visible to members of our class. And what I also like to do is give them kind of a video straight from Hypothes.is that says, hey, this is how the tool is used. This is kind of a little bit more context on how to use this thing. So it's a pretty bare bones kind of introduction to the tool. In a face-to-face class, I might walk them through it in a little bit more detail, but this works fairly well for an asynchronous or a remote class. It's pretty straightforward. Now, how would I present these readings and how would I present these assignments to the class? Well, I would go over in Next. Again, I've just set up kind of a sample page here. So assuming that this was the first week of the course, I would say, all right, well, here's week 1 reading and annotations. What I would do is I would, to make sure that this shows up on the to-do list for the students so that they do get that notification like, hey, something is due. I would click edit the page and then go down to add to student to do and pick like pick a date and a time that I want them to get notified that, hey, you should do this thing, and that'll show up. But then again, what I've just done is I've presented links to the reading assignments. It's the first week of the class. We are reading a couple chapters in Write What Matters and annotating them. So I've got the links here. And then I also have some instructions. And I think this is really important. We want to give our students some guidance. We don't want to just say, hey, annotate this, do whatever you want. This is our opportunity to kind of give our students the direction that they need in order to get whatever we want them to get out of this assignment. So I've given them, again, some links, or a link here to some tips and tricks. This is, I think, really nice for really any number of scenarios, so that, like, it gives them kind of the advice to carefully select which bits of text they want to annotate, reminds them that our annotations should be additive, gives them some kind of tips on how to use the toolbar, how to insert links and images, and all of that kind of fun stuff. So I want to show you really quickly how this actually works. So I'm going to open up critical reading, the first little reading assignment here. So when you have that Chrome plugin installed, it's going to show up here with all of the rest of your Chrome plugins, and it's the little H. So I'm going to click that, and you'll see a couple of things. I've added a couple of annotations so far. Those are showing up as highlighted text. And then this area up here is where kind of the magic happens. So if we click on that little arrow to expand the annotation panel, what we'll see is you've got a couple of options here. This is this drop-down menu is where your groups are going to live. So you can either post these annotations publicly, or as I have done and as I instruct my students to do, say, hey, make sure you are picking our private group for this class so that your annotations are only visible to members of this class. So I picked that, and then really all you need to do as you're going through and as you're reading, and this is where Hypothesis is super powerful, basically anything that shows up on the web is free game for annotation. There are, some websites don't work with this, but the vast majority of the internet will work with this, including PDFs that are online, such as Bad Ideas About Writing. So what's really cool is all you need to do to use Hypothesis is you highlight text, and it'll come up with a couple of options. If you just want to simply highlight and not write any comments, all you have to do is click the highlight button and it'll stay there. But if you highlight some more text, you can click on the annotate button, and it's going to give you the option to add some annotations. So here's where I would write out my annotation. Maybe I want to ask students a question about this particular line of text. And then all you got to do is make sure that this is saying post to the private group that you want it to post to, and you just click post. And what's really cool about this is you can also see all of the annotations that have been added into that private group here. So Clearly, I am the only one who has added anything so far, but as your students continue to add to this private group, all of these annotations will be visible. You can see when I just highlight something, it's not showing up with any kind of commentary or anything like that. But here, what I did in the line, why is a college writing course even necessary? I kind of modeled, in this area, maybe I want to ask them a question. So I'm saying, why is a college writing course even necessary? Say another question that we might ask is what makes college writing courses or college writing assignments different from previous classes that you might have taken in high school? What do you think the purpose of this course is? And what do you think makes this course unique? And what's cool is students can hit this little reply button and they can reply right back to me. You can post their replies directly to this question, and it'll create a threaded response. So I can do that, and then we can continue replying. Continue replying in a threaded response. And this is really great because it's a great way to interact directly with a text. And this is the type of thing that we can assign for homework prior to a face-to-face class. This is the type of thing that we can kind of use to replicate discussion threads in a more direct and engaging manner. This is a great way to check for reading comprehension to make sure that students are actually doing the readings. There are any number of ways that we can integrate this tool into our classrooms. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you get as much out of this extremely powerful tool as I have.